This is xSports Live, presented by Hinie's BBQ.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
And welcome everybody back to xSports Live. I'm joined here by Cam Mashburn, Clint Brazier, and the owner of Hinie's BBQ, Trent Weigel. And Trent, you have brought us out here to start things off. We're getting going with the treats. We're not wasting any time.
We're not playing around tonight. We're starting it off right tonight.
Look
at he's diving in already. We're waiting for him to tell what it is. Just dive in there. Look at that. The expression says it all. So Levi and I have been working on this. This recipe we've worked on for a long time, but this is the first time we've offered it in the restaurant. We're just trying to get our help together, but this is house-made jalapeno cheddar sausages. Ground in-house, smoked in-house, seasoned in-house. Everything is done right here. And man, let me tell you something, they are phenomenal.
Fantastic.
So if you go out to Texas, this is the barbecue that you see out there. You see those sausages that they make. So we take our brisket, chop it up, run it through the grinder. We take a pork butt, run it through the grinder, blend it together with our special herbs and seasonings. Then we mix the jalapenos, and that's high-temp cheddar cheese. So if you'll notice, you can actually see the pieces of cheddar cheese in there.
Yes.
And then it gets cold smoked in the smoker, so there's no heat on it, just to let that smoke go in. If you look on there, you can see that nice little smoke ring right there. Then we pair it up with our house-made, the Hinie Liquor barbecue sauce. You can take your bread and kind of dunk it in there and grab you a piece of sausage. And
I was going to ask what's the best way to eat this, but I think you just demonstrated.
Yeah, I think you just gave us a demonstration.
That's it right there. Now, I brought you some whole, so you can feel the snap on the casing.
Okay.
So we use a real whole casing.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Ken.
There's no cheat,
you get that
nothing.
one piece that's left.
But grab a hold of that right there and take a bite of it. You'll feel the snap of the casing.
Okay.
And juice will probably squirt, so be careful because it's juicy. It's phenomenal.
That's really good.
You like them wieners, don't you?
Yeah. He bit.
The thought came to my mind the moment I grabbed this thing.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, not there's anything wrong with it.
Then something else new on the menu. We've had our Hinie Shine forever, but I brought y'all some Hinie Shine slushies. So kids and adults together like the slushies. And if you want the adult version of this slushie, you can go to the bar as well.
Add a little rum to it, man.
So there's one drink in there. It's the Hinie Shine Paradise. It has the coconut rum in it. And the coconut rum with that lemon and orange in there, it's phenomenal. So house-made jalapeno cheddar sausages now on the menu.
All right.
And hey, and we were talking off air. I'm so mad at myself because I didn't get to come down here last Friday. You had the gumbo.
You missed the gumbo.
You said that was great. Is this kind of the same sausage we're using for the gumbo?
So yes, that's the sausage that goes in the gumbo. And then along with that is smoked chicken.
All right.
And then shrimp.
Gotcha. But you said we're doing gumbo again at some point,
We will be
right?
doing gumbo again. We're waiting for another cold snap. Of course, tomorrow's cold, but I didn't see that. This weather this week snuck up on me. Ben, where you been? But
He's sick. It snuck up on him,
Snuck up on him, too. It got him. So I didn't realize it was going to be so cold tomorrow. I dropped the ball and didn't order everything in to get the gumbo made for tomorrow. But one day next week, if it's nice and cold, we'll do that. Or everybody's been asking for the chicken noodle soup again.
Right.
We're going to do that. And then another thing that we are cooking up, no pun intended, we took some of our brisket trimmings and we put those in some nice cubes, and we're going to make a brisket stew as well.
Okay.
So lots of soups and stuff for the cold days coming up.
So how you said cold smoke? How I know how you do it, but for those who don't know, how do you just blow smoke on it with
cold smoke? The way we do it here is we build a tiny little fire in the back of our smoker, and we do not let it get over 110 degrees in the smoker. So basically that little fire is just making smoke. There's no heat involved. And what that does is allow you to get more smoke, because that little sausage right there, if you put it on at 160 or 225 like we cooked 225 or 250 like we're cooking a brisket or a pork butt, that sausage would be done in no time and it wouldn't get any smoke into it.
Right.
So to get smoke in it, you have to cold smoke. And if you'll look around the edge of it, you see that nice little pink ring on there.
Yeah.
That means we got some smoke flavoring in there, and then that natural casing just sucks up the smoke as well. But that
Tastes
is
great.
a fine sausage right there. And I know the white bread looks kind of funny, but it's a cool complement
works.
to it. You can
Yeah.
dip your bread in the sauce. You can wrap it around the dog, throw it in there.
A lot of the places in Kansas City, they give you
Yes,
your barbecue,
they
your
do.
sides,
If you
wrap
go
it up
at
in the
Kansas
butcher
City,
paper
Texas,
with
a
white
lot
bread.
of those, it's white bread, and we're gonna start. I was just talking to my bread man. Matter of fact, he's in there eating a barbecue right now. I told him, that's a good looking bun on that sandwich right there. And he was like, that's the best there is. So anyway, just having fun with my bread guy in there. But we're going to start throwing some more white bread and stuff out on different plates. So I just think it adds to the plate.
Yeah.
It's something neat to dip some sauce in and play around with.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are certainly enjoying
Yeah,
it. especially
don't ask
Clint.
me anything. I mean,
Well, I had a barbecue fail last time we were talking about.
Yes.
So I decided to smoke some chicken.
Okay.
And then I put it into a buffalo chicken dip. And it turned out those flavors, I didn't smoke the dip, I baked it, but I smoked the
But
chicken.
you smoked the chicken.
The flavors just didn't really work.
Really?
So, has there ever been
He's from
something
West
that,
Virginia. He don't know what flavors work.
So yeah,
Hey, we smoke deer in the ground, Cam. That's always. I've done that
Traditional,
before.
you dig the
That's,
hole.
So
don't
listen, I fail all the time.
Yeah.
That's how you learn. So if you want to learn a lesson in life, y'all write this down. If you want to really and truly learn a lesson in life, do something wrong, and you will learn from that lesson. It's one that you don't forget.
Yeah, so
and the worse you
it
fail,
happens.
the stronger that message lasts. And I've had some pretty good failures. So the first time we did the sausage, I'm a cheese lover.
Yeah.
So I thought, I love cheese, and I want to make sure I put enough cheese in there. So, if the recipe calls for 5 pounds, put 10 and it makes it that much better, right? It didn't. It overpowered it. So that didn't work out. So I have failures like that too. But that's called experimenting before you take it to the public. You get everything down pat first, and you fail on yourself, and you do go around and ask folks for, sample opinions. Right now we're working on now that we did this turned out phenomenal. And I got to quit. At some point in time, I got to stop. But we're working on another sausage for the pizza that we make in-house. And we're going to try it one more time again tomorrow. And if it turns out as well, if we can repeat what we did the other day, it's going to happen because it is killer.
Yep, well,
It
we're
is
looking
killer.
forward to it, and we hope you bring it out here so we can
We
sample
will. If we get that sausage, we'll actually bring it out here so y'all can sample it as well.
Well, sounds good, Trip. Well, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for giving us some sausage here, and looking forward to another great show out here tonight.
Sounds like a plan. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you, too. Well,
All
coming
right.
up next, we got the Summertown Lady Eagles. They're coming up here on deck next.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
It's time for some straight talk about zero-turn mowers. Husqvarna's zero-turn performance mowers with rugged commercial drive give you high performance and a comfortable ride. Heavy-duty frame and chassis and commercial hydraulics take no punishment. With warranties now up to 5 years and low financing options, there's no competition. For a straight-up deal on the best in professional zero-turn mowers, go straight to your Husqvarna dealer.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back to xSports Live. Joined here by the Summertown Lady Eagles. Joined by head coach Jeremy Jean and Carly Campbell. Fresh off a pretty big win there the other night for you guys.
It was a good win. I thought we played well on both ends of the floor, defensively especially. Offensively started off struggling, missing some layups, turning the ball over a lot the first half, but I think we settled in and played well the rest of the game.
Carly?
Yeah, I felt really good about the game the other night. I felt like we finally got into a groove, like sometimes there's a lot of pressure going into games, and I felt like we were loose, and we had fun out there, I think, and when shots fall, nobody can complain, but I feel like on the defensive end, we've stepped up a little bit more lately, and we just played together.
Coach said when he came in here, you guys had a little bit more pep in your step here the last couple days. You even got Ainsley talking, which is, it's a kind of a miracle on that side of it. So, what's kind of the mood been around the team here the last couple days?
Go ahead.
I think it's been great, I think we've loosened up, like I said earlier. I think we just, me and Olivia, we cut up a lot. He sees that at practice, I think we're all just having fun, keeping each other up, staying in it and just wanting to win. And we all want to go out there and win. And, when we are loose and we're light and we're enjoying it, that's when I think we play the best.
Jeremy?
I agree. When there's that balance of being focused and relaxed and being focused and tight and tense, and when they're focused and tight, we don't play well offensively. Defensively, we played well late, I think, a lot. But when they're relaxed and they're out there just not putting pressure, hey, I got to score 20. Hey, I've got to make this shot. Because they don't. Nobody has to score 20 for us to win. We've got enough kids that can score 8, 10, 6, and we're fine. So the relaxed part is good as long as we're relaxed and focused.
What happened in your eye there, Carly? Did that come from practice, or that was from the other night?
That was Lawrenceburg.
Whoa.
Lawrenceburg.
At Lawrence County. That's how long ago that's been.
Have you not seen the pictures of it when it was at?
No.
It was,
this is,
it actually, a lot of people didn't even see it.
Yeah, we had to play 2 games at Knowlesville without her.
Yeah, and I remember what happened. Kind of briefly, it just flashed into my mind. I didn't know if.
Why did you see the pictures after the game?
It
was brutal.
Like day 3 was. He laughed at me. It was pretty funny.
We have a little Rocky over here.
It did look like been in a bar fight. What it looked like.
Yeah.
Carly, last night, it's pretty good, and this is for you too, Coach, but had 3 players in double figures. Olivia Riggs coming off the bench with 8 big points. Everybody pretty well getting scoring column, but at balance. But Carly, I think if I went back and watched it, and I'm remembering right, you had 6 big points there right at the end, and it just looked like Loretta was maybe a little bit gassed, and you just turned on the afterburners and finished at the rim on some tough finishes. But what's that regiment like? What's that feel like? Like, how do you feel like going into that 4th quarter when some people's tongues are hanging out of their breath, but it seems like you just get faster and faster?
Yeah, I can't really explain it. I don't know. It's just kind of just something, I guess that second gear just clicks in. I just don't stop, just don't think, just go. When you see an open lane, take it,
And Coach, to you on that point, your team's playing full court all game. And you aren't, I would say, and people ask me, and I may be wrong on this, but I think one area Summertown's probably hurting on is probably post play as far as scoring in the paint. But with that being said, you're pretty much face guarding and trapping and full court pressuring the whole game. Right. And how proud are you of your team? Big shout out to Jesse.
Hey.
You didn't have, hey, set that over there. But
That's for later.
yeah,
What is that?
that's for later. We don't need that right now. But Coach,
He's like, I'm not sharing that.
hey,
Whatever
listen,
it is.
Hey, listen, you already threw this show off the rails at the first of it. But with your team playing as aggressive as they do from tip-off,
Right.
how much pride do you take in the fact that down to the final couple of minutes you're still playing that hard and that fast and all over people from full court?
Well, I mean, I take pride in it because I think that's our identity. So we're going to get after you.
Right.
We try to make people get mentally tired in the third and fourth quarter where shots that usually fall aren't falling because they're thinking too fast. We're getting them a little faster than they want to be. We're playing 8 kids every night, sometimes 9. So, I think we're rested enough to keep doing that, and I like it. I think we just keep plugging away. And
Right.
I feel like there's a time in a game where it's going to break open and go from 6 or 7 to 12 or 13 really quick, and that's what happened on the night.
Tuesday night against Loretta, you start out down 9-0. Nobody panics. You don't take a timeout. Somebody hits a big shot.
I heard call some timeouts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean,
Well,
that's fine.
but you didn't. It took one big shot. It took a and one by Olivia Riggs. The next, we steal an inbounds pass, put it up, and Ainsley hits a shot, gives us a lead. Right. I mean, it's just like that all of a sudden, and then it's kind of back and forth there for about 2 quarters. But fourth quarter, your team really set the tone and took over.
Well, I think defensively,
Right.
I think we got into their legs and frustrated, mentally got them going faster than they want to be. Not calling timeout the first couple minutes. We got open looks. We missed layups.
Right.
If we weren't getting looks or we're throwing the ball in the bleachers, you might call a timeout. But I didn't feel like, if we're down 9-0, I call a timeout. That place is going to go nuts. So
I think that's underestimated too, because I see a lot of coaches do that. And somebody asked me one time why a coach didn't do it, and it was recently actually. I said, well, if they do it, then that gives the other team that much more momentum. I mean, why not wait till you score a basket? Get some momentum going your way, then do it.
Yeah, and it's I trust them that we're not going to freak out. That they're going to keep plugging away, and we're going to keep defending. Their first couple buckets were tough shots. A pull up in somebody's guarding them, a 3 when somebody's running at them. But again, we kept plugging away to where eventually it went from 4, 6, 10, 12, 15.
It sounds like when John Beeline, was at West Virginia when I first started off as a reporter and as an anchor, I used to hear the same things from the Coliseum and the WVU crowds. John was notorious for his teams would go on 12-0 runs, and John wouldn't call a timeout. He said, "I want to see how my guys handle this.
Exactly right.
I want to see them bounce back," and every time they'd bounce back and find a way. Not every time, but most of the time they found a way to bounce back. So you're on that fine line of the tipping point.
Right.
And that's a hard line to follow.
It is.
As a coach.
Then if we go on 12-0, 15-0, I don't call one. I'll look really bad. So I trust them.
Perks of being a coach.
I think they trust me and I trust them, and we're just out there. They're having a good time, playing hard, and no pressure. Like, just go play.
Well, Coach, anybody that's came in the barber shop, I even talked to Coach Rutledge about it. She joked with me. She said, "Don't beat up on me too much tonight. Y'all did enough of that the other night." Has your message kind of been to this team? Yeah, it was a good win, and it was a convincing win at the end. But you're probably going to play each other at least 3 more times, so let's don't worry about it.
It's talked to them yesterday. Great win. It's over.
Yep. And you're going to get them again probably multiple times.
We will, and the only thing we take care of is ourselves.
Right.
That's all we can work on every day. And we're going Saturday to play Madison Academy and watch them play a little bit, but it doesn't matter. We got to work on ourselves and keep getting better. And do
Wait, who'd you say we're
Madison
playing?
Academy.
I thought you was playing Deschler.
No, it's been changed twice.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they're like, but I feel less worried about getting the crap beat out of us physically.
Yeah.
Well, I know this from experience. Deschler likes to add players 3 days before you play, right?
No,
Long story.
she's not looking at you. She's not looking at you.
Yeah, so they're like, where did she come from? She played most of the shows Tuesday night, and this is Friday.
Well, if you get away with it.
They did. They did.
Well, Carly, we know how good you are on the golf course.
Yeah, she's all right.
You mentioned before we went on air, you went out, hit a few balls the other day, and wasn't real good. How do you kind of balance the basketball life and the golf life?
They're completely different sports. I feel like they test you in different ways, but the same ways at the same time. Golf for me, it's a very mental game. In basketball, it's more like get out there, don't think. He's told me that a million times. Transfer over, don't think. But I feel like it builds your character too, being able to do both, because you see so many things on each end, how to play as an individual, but how to play as a team. And I think it's important to learn how to carry yourself as an individual athlete, and that makes you better on a team. And just getting to do both, they're both games. I love them both. Like I said, going out there the other day, we had a good practice that morning. I was feeling good. Just was like, let's hit some golf balls. Hit a few shanks. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Don't say
can't
that
say
word.
that word.
Sorry, I can't help
You
it.
said you weren't going to say that word.
Yeah.
That's me every time I play, so it's just
Well, yeah.
I remember that in playing football. We had a good practice. I'm not tired. Dad, let's go out and take a few swings on the baseball field. Foul a couple off your feet, and you go, I'm good.
Yeah, it can ruin your day real fast.
And when I was, we did the golf preview at the beginning of the season, and I was talking with your dad for a long time, and your dad mentioned pretty much every major school in the Southeast is giving you attention, to come play. What's that kind of experience been like for you with all that attention?
It has. I want to say it's been, sunshine and rainbows, but it definitely hasn't. It's a whole different world. It's when you expect to get some phone calls you don't get. You get some you didn't expect for. It was a stressful time, and that's why basketball has really been good for me this year. To go from thinking where am I going to go to college all the time to okay, put it away. It's time to play basketball. And it made me realize and look to it as you have to make the best decision for you, and just kind of evaluating everything. So it's been tough, but it has been really fun, meeting all the coaches and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And Coach, you've got state champion volleyball players, state champion tennis players, you got state champion golfers. What's it like getting all these different sports and having them come together, on basketball and trying to whip them into shape at the same time?
It's been fun. It's not hard at all because they're all competitors and they want to compete at what we're in right now. They will compete, give 100%. It's just we'd like to give a basketball state championship to that mix. That's the ultimate goal. But I think all those different sports bleed over just the winning that they have. They want to win. They're competitors, and they'll give me all they got. We just got to hope that at the end that's enough. Like last year's sub-state game, we didn't play bad, and we got beat. Sometimes that happens. Like it's just you got to hope that you give it your best, and at the end, that it's good enough.
For you guys, battle tested, and you guys have played a lot of really good teams. You're going to have another one coming up on Saturday, and get right back in the district play. How do you feel like this non-district schedule's really prepared your team for this time of the year?
I hope it has prepared us. We've played bigger schools, athletic schools that are just bigger than we are physically. It's prepared us, I think, as a team that hey, we all have to guard the post player. It's not. Reese, you guard the 6'2" kid by yourself,
right? and she'll give you everything she's got doing it.
She does, but the other night I look up and they're posting Rue up. Mm-hmm. It happened. It happened at Lawrence County, and it threw us for a loop. We weren't. That's on me. We weren't ready for it. But since then, we've practiced on it every single day. Like we're ready for it. Go ahead and post her up. Throw a lob. We'll be behind her. You either make the shot or you miss it. We'll rebound and we'll go. So, those games has prepared us for different things we may see the rest of the year.
And Coach, the 5 losses you do have, they've all been games that I probably, you or I or Rue all could probably say, probably games we could have won or should have won.
Absolutely.
And now 2 of them are against a Wayne County team that if I'm betting a farm, I'm betting him to win single.
Right.
2 of them are against Lawrence County, Lawrence County just keeps getting better and better every week.
Yeah.
And have 3 really good post players. And then the other one, Page, who took Lawrence County all they wanted. I think those are games you'd like to have back. But, Rue, I'll just ask you, what do you and your teammates learn off losses like that as opposed to blowing out teams and winning?
I think it's a good, I guess I could say it humbles you a little bit, like we're all competitors. We all drive to win, in those other sports we have those wins and stuff and going in and, you have to give it your all the whole time. And sometimes that's not enough, but sometimes it's like, okay, we didn't have our best game. What can we do to get better?
Right.
And I think that's the important part of it, and that's what sometimes it's good to lose. Sometimes it's good to expose what you have to work on individually and as a team, how to communicate with each other, how we need to work together. It teaches you that it can't just be one person, it can't just be three, it's got to be all five out there at the same time working together.
Well, obviously, my proudest moment the other night against Loretto was we beat Loretto. And my second one was Em only had one foul. She didn't. She played more than one and a half quarters.
Yeah.
It's the first time in a couple of weeks.
That's right. I haven't got to say that in a while.
Did she play like her dad?
No, I didn't play enough defense to get foul trouble.
She actually makes shots.
So we did talk about the games before, the days before. Quit playing with your hands.
Right.
Like, quit playing with your hands, body up to people, and use your body like Marshall did to us. Body them up. They don't call that hand check as much as if you reach and hand check.
Which I told her, and if there's any watching, I go ahead and apologize. But I said, listen, you got to be smarter than that. I said, if it's a Frierson close to the ball, don't put your hands in there. I said, just be straight up. That's me. That's not our coaching staff.
That's on the hair right there.
Well, guys, we'd like to thank you for stopping by, and good luck against whoever you're going to face. It might change again by the time you guys get there Saturday.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and coming up next, we got the Loretto Lady Mustangs here on xSports Live.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
For the best at-home care in Lawrence County, the Summit at Home is the right company for you. We have a friendly staff over 25 that is trained, educated, and qualified to help with all your needs within your household. Our non-medical services include transportation, housework, dressing, and companionship. We are also covered by most long-term care providers. For more information, please call 931-762-2310.
It's the wall-to-wall clearance sale going on right now at Story & Lee Furniture. Save hundreds of dollars off floor samples, one-of-a-kinds, and even as-is items. We are drastically reducing prices to make room for our 2023 inventory coming in. And with our warehouse completely full, we've got a lot of furniture to sell and are slashing prices to do so. With hundreds of items marked at liquidation prices. And get up to 12 months no interest and free delivery too. It's the Story & Lee Furniture wall-to-wall clearance sale.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live. Now joined by the Lady Mustangs of Loretto. We have head coach Ashley Rutledge. We got Allie Weathers and Kelly Weathers joining us here. And, you guys got district play started the other night, and I know it wasn't the way you guys wanted to start things off, but what kind of lessons can you take away from that game?
Well, we took a lot away. I think we learned of some things that we cannot do, and then, of course, I thought we played well the first half, but the second half we really just didn't show up, and so we've got to own that. Summertown came ready to play, and we didn't in the second half. We got to own it. We got to move forward and not let that happen again.
Allie?
Our identity as a team has generally been a defensive team, and that has not been the case this year, so we really have to pick it up on the defensive end. And we've always been a team that scores off a transition, and we've not been doing that this year either, so we really have to pick those things up.
Kelly?
Well,
just this year, the second half's just kind of been our albatross. We kind of start out games really well, and sometimes we just third quarter have just a letdown in the third quarter, and sometimes that carries over into the fourth. And so we've just got to fix those issues going forward. We've played. Obviously, this year our bench is shorter. We play fewer people, and so that just means that our starters are logging more minutes, and sometimes that's a fatigue thing late in the game. So as we go on in the season, I feel like they'll get in better playing shape, and they'll be able to sustain that for the whole game.
Yeah, I've noticed, I've done a lot of your all's games early on in the season. I have noticed some improvement going on there. I think the ball movement's gotten a bit better. Your defense has improved, and see, you guys know what the issues are. You're not always going to tell us, but you know what the issues are. How much do you guys work on this in practice? How much you tell them, and how much are you kind of trying to get it into their brains every day?
Well, I think it starts with accountability, and that's something that we went over the past couple of days, breaking it down from players and a team, and as coaches, evaluating some things that we have to adjust and plan for, or push the girls or challenge them in certain ways. And so we just have to continue to work on defense. Like Allie said, she's right. We've got to continue to get better in that area because, Pat Summit, offense wins games, defense wins championships, and we all believe that. And so we just have to continue to improve and be playing our best at tournament time.
Okay.
Well, I know it's been different for me this year because you're used to seeing you guys dominate everyone and beat teams 80-5, like we saw a couple times last year. I mean, so it's been an adjustment for a lot of folks just from the fact of Allie's the only returning starter, or Laney, you and Laney's the only two returning starters. But through the first, 5 games, you and Laney accounted for 90-something% of the scoring. What can you guys, I'll let this be a two-part question, but as a coach, what can you do to get other people involved in scoring, and what can you do as a player? You need some help, right? Scoring. I'm not saying the other thing, but when you have 2 kids that are scoring all the points, it's not always a good thing.
Well, I think there's an adjustment period where players who last year didn't have to score those points, there's no pressure there.
Sure.
And Allie and Laney have done a phenomenal job of stepping up and carrying that weight. So we have to have others continue to grow into that role, whether it be, what we do for offense or whatever. We have scores,
Absolutely.
They've got to adjust into that role, and it's got to be now that we start making that adjustment into the roles, So I do. And Kelly can add. I feel like it's hard to compare last year's team to this year. Our senior group averaged over 30, close to 40 points, some nights more than that. So you have to give grace a little bit to this team because they're growing into these roles, and it is a process.
Well, and I think also our out-of-conference schedule that we played this year arguably is one of the toughest schedules we've ever had.
Yeah.
So we out-of-conference and pre-district season, and I just think that, that was a little bit intentional because we had to see what we were made of, and we had to push ourselves early. We didn't need any cupcake games to give us a false sense of who we were, and, we've lost games by 1 and 4 and 4 and 7, and it's not like we were getting blown out, but it's just been some tough games for us. And just as the season has gone on, we've learned a lot from those games. Games that where you have a potential to lose are the games that make you better.
And like you mentioned, that tough schedule, I think I calculated at one point, I know when you guys came, when you came to Lawrence County, or you were at one point, I looked at everyone's combined record, it was like 47-3. and like you mentioned, they were 1-2 possession losses. So, Allie, is that like iron sharpening iron, that you know what you're playing against and you're competing against them. So you guys know you can play. It's just all about taking that next step.
I think, too, we don't need any added pressure because we're not asking people to score 30 a night. Just be consistent with what you do and just chip in about the same every night, and we'll get better.
Well, you're talking about the pressure, though, and that's because as 8th graders, you guys were state champions middle school. Does that put more pressure now? Let's say, okay, we got to live up to that.
I don't think it puts more pressure. I just think we know we are winners and we can win, and we just have to get back to how we played together in those years, and we just have to. Last year, losing a lot of vocal leaders hurt us a lot this year, but we have the people to be as good as, obviously not as losing Carly, but. We have potential to be better than
She's
we're
not
playing.
watching, so she doesn't.
Yeah, we have potential to be better than we're playing right now.
So what? Talking about leadership, who has stepped up? Obviously, you and Lainey are the two leaders as far as point totals. But do you feel like you've taken on more of a leadership role this year?
I think I could have done a better job. I'm not really a vocal person, so I've kind of had to step out of my comfort zone and kind of tried to talk to our team and had to. Because player-led teams are generally the successful teams, and we just have to get back into doing that.
How was the other night for the family, getting Carly's jersey retired there and having her come back? You know, Alabama's coaches were there. How special was that for your family the other night?
Oh, I mean, it's obviously an incredible honor to have that done for you. And I remember when Carly started high school, I told her, I said, I'll unretire, because she wore 25 when she was in middle school, and that was my number. And I said, I'll unretire it for you, and I'll let you wear it in high school if you want to wear it. And she told me then, she said, Mom, I don't want to wear it. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I don't want to wear yours. I want to try to get mine retired. And even though I know that was, you know, in the back of her mind a goal for hers, there was nothing that made Carly any prouder than to wear Loretta across her chest and represent that school. And, you know, that's been one of her hardest transitions to go to college, is to leave Loretta, because she loves it and she loved representing it. And she said it was the hardest thing that she ever did, was to take that jersey off for the last time. So,
Allie, what was it like for you?
I'm just super proud for her, because she's one of the hardest workers I've ever known in my life. She's always in the gym working, always trying to improve her game, and it's very special to see that pay off.
Ashley, you know, when you look at your younger players and they see something like that, how much can that motivate them to know that, you know, look at what she's doing at Alabama right now, and look at what people have done here at the past to kind of motivate them to work hard, get in the gym, and do the things that they have to do.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing Carly was a motivator, and she would hold everybody accountable, and she always made everybody better because of that. And I think just the tradition at Loretto and these younger kids, I can attest for my daughter, you know, she looks up to all these girls, Carly and Allie and all of them, and I know her teammates do, and they're good role models, and they want to be like them when they grow up. And so that's why I think the tradition carries on, is because they set the bar high, and these younger kids keep striving to get there.
Yeah. But I think that's what's also so great about it is, at least the 5 years that I've been helping Ashley, we have had an incredible run of girl athletes at our school that, as you said earlier, iron sharpening iron. It wasn't just Carly that we found in the gym working. It was all of those girls were in the gym working, because they all had a single solitary goal, and they were all willing to work for it and put their neck on the line every day.
I thought that was pretty cool that she wanted all the players out there with her that she had played with, and a lot of them showed up, you know, that weren't in uniform. That's a testament to her, but it's also a testament to Loretto. Is, you know, that's the thing. Even though it was a much different time when I was there, and even more so when Kelly was there, but the thing about Loretto is Loretto people always take care of Loretto people. That's been true as long as I can remember. You take care of your own, and that they do really well.
Yeah, now you guys got a couple opportunities coming up here. You got Mount Pleasant on Friday, you got Lauderdale County on Saturday, and no rest for the weary when it comes to district play, and you guys got 2 more opportunities to get back on the right track.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fun to see how this team responds. You know, after games like that, as a coach, I always look forward to, okay, how are we going to respond? And today's practice was very productive, and so I feel like we're kind of going in the right direction.
Yep. Allie?
I just agree with her.
Well, I got a story I got to tell Coach Rutledge. It's not a question. It's not a question. So a couple weeks ago, I didn't know this, but Ashley is a fan of news bloopers.
Of what?
Yeah.
TV news bloopers.
Yes, I am.
So she texted me one, and I had
sent
seen
it to Kelly too.
Yeah, I'd seen it a few times. Now, for those who don't know, I spent 18 years in TV news as an anchor, mainly on the sports side. I've had my share of bloopers, but you know, none of them that have made YouTube yet, unless someone finds some. But so she sent me one of it. I think it was in Indiana, of crispy bacon. So it's a story of this pig who was born without function in the back legs. So that goes to this elementary school, and what we call in newspeak, it's a story at the end of the show that takes you out. We call them kickers. So it's a kicker.
Okay.
You know, it's supposed to kick off to the next show. Dumb word, I know, but it's newspeak. Anyway, so it's about crispy bacon is the name of the pig. Well, the anchor can't get through the read. Like he's laughing because the name is crispy bacon. Tosses it to his co-anchor. That's who gets through it. So she sends me that, and I'm driving and looking at my phone. Not safe, I know, but so I'm on the main road, and I'm going from Loretto to Summertown, and I look up and I laugh. Even though I've seen that clip a bunch of times, it still makes me laugh. So I look up, and I see a wrecked car off the side of the road, and a woman gets out, and she is crazy distressed. She's on her phone. She's losing her mind. And then I drive by, and I look to my right to see what she's so upset over. She hit a pig.
I hope it wasn't crispy bacon.
Well, it's about to be crispy bacon. So I just thought that was just
Everybody needs to, okay, we're going to need to say, everybody needs to go Google crispy bacon,
yes,
news anchor blooper, and tell me you won't laugh crying.
No,
it's so funny.
Just look at news bloopers in general. They're so good.
Oh, they're so good.
Weather anchors that, draw back things on the green screen.
Yes.
One of my co-workers that I worked with for over a decade is on one of those reels. He was on an embankment and tumbled like somersault style. Back, he was my desk mate. I have a bunch of good stories about him that I can't tell on TV, but yeah. So
that's great.
My wife is the only one that knows that story so far, but I just thought the ironic that I learned.
PD's waiting outside to arrest him for texting and driving in.
Well, and we may have eaten crispy bacon. I mean, if you had the brisket or something, it may.
Well, brisket comes from a cow, Ashley.
Oh, I thought it came from. I said that.
Now we just made you do.
Quit being so partial.
They were setting you up for
This is great.
A brisket comes from a cow.
Yeah. Brisket's cow, pork is
brisket's
pig.
a peck of cow.
I learned something. I don't eat brisket often, so
you learn
maybe
something new every day. There you go.
I mean, I feel really dumb now, but thank you.
Chicken is from chicken.
I know that, Cam.
Pork butt is from a pig.
Sorry, Coach.
Well, Ashley,
Thank you, Allie.
Welcome to Ashley's Learning Minute on xSports Live.
PBS.
I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by. Good luck this weekend. Coming up next, we got the Lawrence County Lady Cats here on xSports Live.
Introducing Cloud9 Fiber to Lawrenceburg. We take great pride in being the only locally owned and operated internet company within Lawrenceburg and Lawrence County. We're now offering up to gigabit services with plans starting at $50 per month. Surf the internet with blazing fast speeds and reliability, all while keeping your investment within Lawrence County. For more information, visit cloud9fiber.com to request for us to build your area next.
I'm Mike Keith. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the auto owner's policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretto, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Hey folks, this is Fred Webb, principal broker and owner of United Country Southern Tennessee Realty in Lawrenceburg. Your local Realtree Land Pro agent, specializing in country homes, farms, and land. If you're thinking about selling or would like a free comparative market analysis to see what your property is worth, please give us a call at 931-244-7126. We market your property worldwide to get you the most exposure, which in turn gets you the highest price in the shortest amount of time. Visit us at southernteandrealty.com.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Hello everyone, this is Eric Schultz. On behalf of Cade and the entire Schultz family, we would like to say thank you. Thank you for all the love, all the support, and most importantly, the prayers. 1 Peter 5:10 reads, "But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that you have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you." We want to thank God for his grace. Go Wildcats.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live, now joined by the Lady Cats of Lawrence County. We have Harley Johnson, Emmy Clark, and Coach Clark joining us for the second time here on xSports Live, filling in for head coach Wendy Scott, who's watching her son play at South Lawrence right now. And you guys have been playing so well here the last couple weeks. Got a big win against Page the other night. Just like we were talking off air, that had to feel really good to get some redemption after some of the things that happened against them last year.
Definitely. It's definitely a big turnaround, losing by 30 last year and then to beating them this year. It's just a good feeling that you've got going forward into district.
Yeah. Coach Clark?
Well, we got 10 district games. That's game one. We're going to take them one at a time, hopefully one play at a time. Most every night's going to be a dogfight. I think on paper, 4 teams, Page, us, Tullahoma, and Lincoln are all right there together, with Marshall and Spring Hill being dangerous. But, that's something we got to show up and play every night. The other night we won a dogfight, so we're 1-0, and 2-0 sounds a lot better than 1-1. So that's all we're thinking about is Lincoln County tomorrow night. Hopefully get a W there and be 2-0 going into next week.
In that game, you guys were up, 11 at halftime. Then they tied, and it goes back and forth. Kind of what was your all's mindset during that game when it was tied, and hitting some big shots down the stretch, to pull out that first district win?
It was kind of like sorry, my mind's going blank.
It's okay.
We were just trying to stay with it and kind of keep that rhythm going and just everything like that.
Well, touching on that, Harley, there's been 2 games that you've got down and you've stuck with it, and you won 2 games. I really wasn't proud of y'all winning. But with that said, it kind of seems like there's never any panic watching you guys, down at halftime. It doesn't matter. Just stay the course, make adjustments. Emmy, what's that like? Just kind of next man up, or if something's not working for somebody, got each other's back?
I never feel like we're going to lose in those tight situations, and we've just learned how to win in close ball games, and I think that's just something that builds our character because we just believe in each other and we've got each other's back the whole time, and I don't think that any of us think that we're going to lose when we're down like that or if we're tied or whatever the situation is.
Yep.
And if anybody's having an off night, we always have a bunch of other people who can step up and score the ball and stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that, the last, when, Katie's not hitting or JC's missing, you hit some big threes. Emmy is becoming a force down low, hitting some big shots. I mean, you guys have stepped into those roles so well. How do you think you guys have kind of stepped up and, like you said, knowing that you need to hit some shots when you need to?
We've just had a really good defense, and just if I
think what she's saying is our defense leads into our offense, and we just have so much confidence in each other that if we do miss a shot, we're going to get the offensive board, or we're going to get something else. We're going to get a stop on defense, and we're just going to make up for it. And I think that just builds your confidence, and we believe in each other. And Coach Scott believes in us more than anybody else, and I think that's how we just feel confident in those games.
Yeah, Coach, what do you see on the bench? Like when you see them go down and you don't see the panic, what kind of confidence does it give you as a coach?
Well, and of course, we've worked on situations. We've been in a lot of close situations, even this summer with summer camps. You work on situations. I mean, blowouts, you don't have to work that much on those situations. You want to be in close situations to get better. But let me say something about Harley that's here with us. Of course, I've enjoyed this year as much as any in a long time with Emmy, my daughter, being out there and being part of that together. But Harley, when we're playing when we're playing Summertown, and of course, you're still us because I coached you, so I know. But Harley goes in the game, and the first thing she does, a teammate had dropped a pass, should have caught, and the first thing she does is she goes over there. As soon as she checks in, she don't go to the other end. She goes and pats him on the back, tells him hang in there, and that's just something that I feel like we really have great team chemistry and unselfishness, and that goes a long way. And I think that really helps you in those situations, in games where it comes down the wire and nobody's worried about who gets a basket. We're just worried about getting a stop on defense, and offensively worried about taking a good shot, the best shot possible. And, you know, it doesn't always take care of itself, but most of the time you do the little things right, the big things take care of themselves. So, you know, I mean, that being said, we got to be ready for another dogfight tomorrow night, because every night here, especially these next 2 games, we got to take one play at a time, because they're going to be dogfights.
Well, I'm going to take it one step farther. I'm going to brag on your daughter. If I could have got her to box out and get trash points and play as rough as she has been this year, I don't think we'd ever lost an AAU game. But Emmy,
except
two
one
big
you got thrown out of.
Except the one me and Talisha got thrown out of. But Harley, you bragged on Harley. I'm gonna brag on her even more. Both times Lawrence County and Summertown played each other right before the half. Harley hits a big 3 that inches the score just a little bit closer, makes it a little bit more doable. Come out of halftime, and next thing you know, you go on a run. I mean, those were huge. I didn't like them, but they were huge.
Absolutely.
I think the big difference for you guys, except for the other night, in every game you guys have outscored your opponents in the third quarter. What kind of adjustments are you all making that you come out like gangbusters, just shooting out of a rocket?
Sometimes it takes a butt chewing at halftime to get us going, and other times, I don't know, we just kick it up in the third quarter, and it's obvious that that's our quarter.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just. I don't know.
Well, and I think one thing, I think Coach Scott does an excellent job of preparation, getting ready for each game and taking each game and using it as it's the only game that matters. And that starts with her. And then I think the girls, you know, we get into the seniors, and I've always told Emmy, and I always used to tell the guys, you got to have a senior sense of urgency when you're a senior. And then when you're younger, you got to play like you're a senior, because you're going to be a senior before by the time you blink your eyes a time or two. And so I think they're really good with that, and I think that really helps. You know, like I said, it starts, you know, Coach Scott does an excellent job preparing, and then, you know, the girls do an excellent job of stepping up, and whoever comes in makes a big play, and that's huge, whether it's offense, defense, whatever. I think they really feed off each other in a good way. Now, the other night, we got a little sloppy with the ball in the third quarter and early fourth, and they wound up taking a 1-point lead at one point, because you have to make sure that you're not playing not to lose and not to turn it over. As you know, if you're worried about making a mistake, you've already made it. Everybody just hasn't seen it yet. So that's something we have to keep working on, because every game we have, or most games, the rest of the way out, are going to be close games. So we've got to have that sense of urgency, but we got to play to win, not play not to lose.
Mm-hmm. What's it been like coaching your daughter here?
I have really enjoyed it. I hope she has. I've really enjoyed it, and you know, I tell Coach Scott, I say, hey, you know, when she asks Coach Willis in my opinion, I say, hey, I'll give you my opinion. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't take my advice. I'll just tell you what I do, and we'll go with it. But she does an excellent job, and I have really enjoyed this year. And, you know, it makes me almost wish that I had coached both earlier, where I could have coached, which I coached them 1 year in junior high. But, you know, I hope she's enjoyed it as much as I have.
Hey, let me tell you a great story of something he pulled on me when my middle one was an 8th grader and Hinie was a 6th grader. He's coaching New Prospect at New Prospect, and for somehow my kid just goes off, and I think she hit 9 threes in a middle school game.
Okay.
And he walks up and he puts her arm around her, and he said, I know where you got to want to shoot it that much, but where'd you learn how to make them? So my daughter just kind of looks at me like, yeah, I got you.
You know what I learned last time we had, you know, the girls' basketball team here was that I heard you're a good dancer.
I did too.
Yeah.
Well,
but I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it.
Now, mine's old school. I mean, if you like Michael Jackson, moonwalking and stuff like that.
You can moonwalk?
You know, but I don't know about this concrete and these shoes, but yeah, but I'm not going to I'm gonna break that out.
Harley, Emmy, let me ask you this. Does everybody that's not in the game that's sitting on the bench have free range to grab him by the back of his shirt to pull him back down and sit down when he thinks he's the head coach and stands up and starts yelling stuff?
Somebody needs to do it.
He's learned that he can't do what head coaches do.
I have.
Technical at Loretto.
I was bad at Loretto.
Well, we'll just say that was more the official than it was you, Coach.
Well, most of the officials I know, and I tell them before the game, just like the other night, I told Curly and Bobby James, I said, listen, just say, Clark, sit down.
Right.
Don't
Don't
give us a technical. I said, I promise I'm not yelling at y'all. Not anymore.
Touching on tomorrow night, Lincoln County, that's an old district rivalry that's renewed, home game. Beach night, is that correct?
It is.
Beach night's always fun, except for back when I played, because we had like a Owens. Well, I know we were 0-4 on beach night in my playing days, and that
we got that turned around. There
well, y'all did, I didn't. but with that said, we're also honoring the '98 state championship Lady Cat basketball team. So it'd be gonna be a fun time tomorrow night at the Ralph.
What's it going to be like for all of you guys, knowing that they're honoring the state championship team tomorrow night?
I think that it's special because Coach Scott is our coach and she played on that team, and I think it's just special for her. And I think it's a game that we should really strive to win, not just because it's a district game, but because of her and beach night, obviously, with the crowd coming in. But I think that'd be really special for her to win, with everybody coming to watch her and honor her.
And Lincoln County, I mean, you guys had 3 battles with them last year. All came down to the wire. They got everyone back from last year's team. I know you guys are expecting a dogfight tomorrow night.
For sure. It'll be a tough game, but I think the tougher team will come out on top, and I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah. It's another special thing, that '98, this guy's first year back home.
It was, and I remember the sub-state. Coach Joyner always gave me a hard time because the sub-state game at home, and Jackie Cheatwoods interviewed me at halftime. Of course, I didn't have any gray hair then. I had all black hair and a head full of it. But he asked me, he said, if you are, who were they playing? Not Cumberland County.
Where
it was at home.
Jack's.
Whoever they were playing, they were in trouble.
Yeah.
And he said, if you were them, what would you do at this point?
Go ahead and start the bus.
That's all I can think of, because there was nothing they could do.
I remember that.
Other than just get dressed in street clothes and get on the bus.
Right.
It was
this
over.
one's over.
It was over. Yeah. Great team, and there again, team chemistry. They had it.
Those were 2 good years. You got to see all the bleachers pulled out for that sub-state game. And then the very next year, we hosted district tournament, pulled all that place was packed. It was fun times.
Yep. Well, we're looking forward to some fun times throughout the rest of the season. Good luck tomorrow night, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, AJ, Clint.
We're coming up. Clint, Cam, and I are going to talk some college football and some college athletics coming up next.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Are you tired of missing out on family life just to be treated like another truck number? Since 1986, Southeast Cares has been a family-operated business based in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Being family-owned ourselves, we understand the importance of family, which is why we value it above all else. With our large number of dedicated lanes and our friendly staff, we are able to evenly divide your home time with the amount of time you spend on the road. We offer multiple benefits with large company pay, all while keeping a small company environment. For more information, visit our website at southeastcarriers.com or check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Whether it's popcorn, biscuits, or automotive, you need the right ingredients to achieve the best results. Heritage Automotive is proud to serve our community with a continually growing inventory. We also help our community grow by contributing to a vibrant economy, which helps build schools. I'm Keith Durham, and I'm the General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, and it's my job to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. Heritage Automotive, your hometown Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealer.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today. Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Back here on xSports Live now with back with Clint and Cam. We're going to talk some college football to start things off. And well, after Clint adds some water to his drink.
Doesn't smell like water, AJ.
Yeah. Some gasoline did you put in that thing, Clint?
It's just flavoring.
It's ethanol.
It's just flavoring.
Ethanol.
Well,
hey, before we go,
okay.
I gave Harley and Emmy a hard time. I wanted them to make sure that they said who their favorite all-time basketball coach they ever had was. And they were going to say me.
They were.
Okay?
They were.
So, Wendy, they were going to say me. I taught them everything they forgot.
Well, I want to start off about the national championship game the other night, and I'm probably a lot like you two where it got to 31-7, and I just quit watching because I knew it was going to happen right after that.
It's kind of like a train wreck or a car crash that you see, like those YouTube videos, like when it's like in Russia where they have all the ice and snow and all, they just keep piling up on the interstate, and it goes on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, and you just can't stop watching. You know, like, this feels wrong. Like, people are dying. This like, you're crushing people here, literally.
Yeah.
And you just can't stop watching. I couldn't stop watching. I mean, it's just like when is this going to end? And it didn't.
And I'm like you. I said, my gosh, did either TCU really overachieve and Michigan look ahead, or was Georgia looking ahead and not play well against Ohio State? Because, I mean, you're sitting there watching it and thinking, maybe TCU shouldn't have got in. But they did what they did to Michigan.
Well, does that say more about Michigan, or does that say more about Georgia?
I think it says,
or the SEC.
I think it says more that Georgia was just kind of looking ahead.
Yeah.
And
Against
shouldn't
Ohio
have
State.
played Ohio State as close as they did.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And I think, Josh Heupel had said something back on a podcast back in April that he was joking.
Yeah.
But it started getting more traction again this week, where he said, we should just take the top 4 teams in the SEC and let them play.
Yeah.
And that's how we should determine the national champion. And he might be right.
Well, once we go to 12 here in a couple of years, we might end up in that scenario.
Well, it's next year. And people think that's going to fix the problem, because anytime a human picks something, it's going to be flawed.
Right.
For example, Nick Saban, his coaches poll ballot,
Put him number 2.
Put himself number 2.
He put himself number 2.
Did you see what Lyle did?
I'm not worried about Lyle. Why is the Arkansas State head coach getting a vote in the coaches poll anyway?
When I saw what he voted, I thought, you mean Arkansas State gets a vote?
Yeah, I didn't even know they were.
You saw Kirby's, right?
He had Tennessee
ahead of Alabama.
Yeah.
Tennessee 5, Alabama 6.
So did Sonny Dykes at TCU. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody else had Alabama above, I think, maybe 3. There was some other beat writer or some other coach that had him at 3. But regardless, and it's you can debate. We've talked about this on this program, that Tennessee should be ahead of Alabama. You know, we can talk about that all day long.
If there was only some way we
it's like if they played each other, right?
But sorry, you got 2 Tennessee fans here.
No, I like that.
But the truth is, anytime a human is in charge of putting people in, you're going to have this debate. You're going to have problems. Yeah. And I said, people say, well, the 12 teams is going to fix a lot of this. No, it's not. Yeah. We still have this debate in the tournament every year, not necessarily about who's the bubble teams. Yeah. It's about seeding.
And if you're 3rd or 14th ranked, you're going to be like, well, we should have got in.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, you think if you just get in, we got in, but we're a 4 seed, you're not going to be ticked off if you thought you should have been a 2 seed? Right. Because that's going to determine who you play. Yeah, this is not going away. It's going to get worse.
The 12-team playoff is going to give us a lot of fun. We've never seen before matchups on that opening weekend, but we'll probably end up with the same teams in the Final Four, same teams in the championship.
I think you could end up with an upset.
Yeah,
which
will be fun.
It will be. I mean, so TCU and Michigan, that was an upset.
Yeah.
So I think you do end up occasionally with upsets, but at the same time, at some point in the first 5 years of this happening, you're going to have 4 SEC teams in the Final Four.
Right.
It will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at that point, especially with Oklahoma and Texas coming, we're not too far away from a 2-conference college football because the Big Ten's and the SEC is going to be it. Mm-hmm. The ACC's trash. The Pac-12's trash. Does the Big 12 even exist anymore? I mean, seriously. I mean, TCU. But
the Big 12 is a mashup of other conferences.
They're putting Rice and Tulane or something like that in. Yeah. I mean.
Well, no, it's Houston, Cincinnati, BYU, and UCF. That's
exactly
what they're adding. Yeah. So, and trying to work on Colorado and Utah.
And maybe Marshall or somebody else to give it thrown in there. I don't mean to. I'm kidding, but it's just like. Yeah. Is that even a conference you take serious anymore? No, it's not.
No, it's SEC, Big Ten, but even the Big Ten starting to find out that, Rutgers and Indiana aren't going to be there in the playoff. You're going to have legit conference champions, legit teams at the top of their game when they get to that.
And all it's going to take is for a Clemson to leave the ACC or a Oklahoma or not Oklahoma, but a Ohio State or Michigan to leave. Yeah. There's nothing left. The SEC owns the NCAA at that point. They can basically set their own rules. I think it's coming there. Maybe not in the near future, but at some point you'll end up with 1 or 2 conferences.
Now, moving ahead to college basketball, Tennessee going to host Kentucky on Saturday. That will be at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time. And Tennessee off to a pretty good start, 14-2 overall, 4-0 in the league, and got a big ceremony coming up on Saturday, and got those hated guys in blue coming up on Saturday as well.
Yeah, honoring Chris Lofton, great player that played under Bruce Pearl. But the only thing that scares me about this game is Kentucky's going to come into it losing their last 2. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to. I think instead of finding out just how good Tennessee is, I think you're going to find out what Kentucky's made of. Yeah. If they're going to, make a stand, or if they're going to fall apart.
Yeah. And I'm starting to see a lot of chatter. I mean, this has really popped up the last couple.
They're kicking people out of games.
Yeah, last couple weeks that people in Kentucky, if you read the message boards, when Cal gone, there's now national beat writers starting to pipe up. Is he going to go to Texas now that Chris Beard, can't keep his hands to himself?
Yeah. They're holding up signs in Rupp Arena. Yeah. Please go to Texas. Yeah. And kicking people out for it.
His seat is warmer than it's ever been. And if you look back at his kind of the road he's been on, he kind of had the same thing happen at Memphis. You initially did really well, then it kind of flatlined. Yeah. And I think what's hurt Kentucky more than anything else is the fact that there's other SEC schools that are kind of risen to the top as well. Tennessee, Florida's been there, but Alabama. I mean, man, they might be the best team in the SEC.
I think they may be, and honestly, just watching them, I think they're playing actually better than Tennessee.
I think you're right.
As Tennessee is playing.
So it's not going to. Kentucky is not a school that spends a lot on athletics. I mean, basketball they've spent some money on, but football, I think, has dipped into that some because they've been somewhat successful.
Yeah.
Right. They've actually made bowl games.
Yeah.
Been ranked.
Yeah.
So that there was that whole squabble between
Calipari and
Stoops. And Stoops, back in the summer about if it's a football school now, if it's a basketball. I mean, that's real. Yeah. That's not just made up. There's some issues there.
Yeah, and when you look at Calipari's resume, he's taken a lot of teams to the Final Four. He's gone to some national championships. He's only won one. Mm-hmm. And he had the unibrow lead him to the national championship. So for all the hype that's been around him, you think he'd have more than just one national championship.
Well, he's having to do it with freshmen most of the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I mean, I don't care who you are, an experienced team is going to outplay McDonald's All-American freshman class when it comes down to tournament time.
Yeah, you look at the top players that somebody like Rick Barnes is recruiting versus what Coach Cal is recruiting. Right. How many of Rick Barnes' players are blue chip first rounders NBA picks?
Yeah. Not many.
Not many.
Yeah,
how many of the Coach Cal's players are? A lot.
Mm-hmm. A lot, yeah.
So you're going to get two different things when you get that type of player. You're going to get a guy who's got his eyes on the next level. Mm-hmm. They're not worried about this. This is a stepping stone. These are guys that would have went straight there if you could have.
Yeah.
You've also got guys that are going to leave after that first year regardless.
Right.
So they're probably not even going to class. Mm-hmm. So Barnes, on the other hand, Josiah James, when he was a five-star guy, but he wasn't a guy that was ready for the NBA. Yeah. Everybody knew that. So he was going to be a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference. I think Clinton hit it on the head. I think that's why they've struggled.
Yeah. Looking at the SEC, Alabama, as you guys mentioned, they're tied with Tennessee for the top at 4-0. A&M, Buzz Williams got that thing going. They're at 3-0. Auburn at 3-1. They're not too far away. Georgia, bit of a surprise, 2-1. They're 12-4 overall. Then you got Missouri, who eked into the top 25, but it's kind of slid back a little bit. Then Florida, Vandy, South Carolina, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Ole Miss. Really, I know Alabama is going to be a threat, but really outside of that in the SEC, what team should Tennessee be the most worried about?
Well, obviously Auburn, because I don't care what they do in the season. If you got Bruce Pearl, I like it's a little I would take Rick Barnes right now over Bruce Pearl just because I love what he's done and he stayed. But anytime you're taking Bruce Pearl and you're talking tournament basketball, it's hard to bet against him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's still a lot of people that love Bruce Pearl in Tennessee.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, my in-laws really love Bruce.
It's funny though, because the Harbaugh stuff that's come out in the last week or so is identical to what Bruce Pearl did. Mm-hmm. Identical. He had a cookout or had an inappropriate contact with a recruit when he shouldn't have been and lied about it. Mm-hmm. That's what Bruce Pearl did. Bruce Pearl got the death penalty. He got a show cause.
Yeah.
What happens with John Harbaugh?
NFL. But he says he's coming back, but as a 49er fan, you never know which Harbaugh you're going to get. And hearing from a lot of my people that cover Michigan, he's kind of flaky.
Harbaugh also may be looking at it like, if I didn't win a national championship this year, I'm probably not going to win one here.
Pete Carroll got out of USC right before they dropped the hammer on the Trojans.
That's right.
Maybe Harbaugh will be next. Well, we're going to take a short break here, and now it's time for the guys and I to rant. That's coming up next here on xSports Live.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation? You're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit lawrenceburgflooringandmore.com.
Like you, our roots are in Lawrence County, providing banking for every stage of life since 1934. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank has been not just your bank, but also your friend, helping you with home loans, consumer and auto loans, and your everyday personal banking needs. Lawrenceburg Federal offers you a warm smile and personal experience, as well as the conveniences of modern-day online banking, mobile banking, and telebanking. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, your neighbor and friend, located at 118 West Gain Street next to the courthouse.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation? You're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit lawrenceburgflooringandmore.com.
There are now more ways to save at Quick Mart. Become a Quick Club member and easily earn rewards on qualifying purchases at Quick Mart convenience stores using the Quick Club app, available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To save on fuel for work, use the Fuel Rewards Pro app to earn 5 cents a gallon on work fill-ups and redeem the savings for yourself. To get started, visit fuelrewards.com/pro or download the app in the Apple App Store and Google Play.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Well, after the graphic, we're back here at xSports Live, so I forgot to get to the trivia question, so I'll save one for next week, but I'll give these guys one here. So, what is the college football program that has changed conferences the most?
Oh, wow. The most. Is there a hint? Like, have they done it recently?
Yes, yeah.
I'll say West Virginia.
No, West Virginia was independent for a long time. Big East, Big 12. And they were in the SoCon briefly. So
they were never in the
it.
ACC then.
No, they should
they
be.
Went from Big East. They went from Big East.
So is this an obscure school, or is this something we would know?
No, this is their last conference change has happened within the last decade. They've been pretty good recently.
I want to say Georgia Tech.
Nope. They were SEC, went to the ACC. I thought of them. I will say this, there's a lot of schools that have changed 5 times, but there's only one school that's changed 6 times.
6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
No, they've been independent, Big East, ACC.
Oh.
How does he know? It's like, I can tell you. Oh, good. Yeah.
I mean, I keep waiting on one of these weeks to get an easy question that maybe somebody...
Wait till wrestling week when we do a wrestling themed show. I've got a lot of good ones.
I want to see.
They're in a Power 5 conference.
They are in a Power
5 conference.
So there's been a lot of realignment lately.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of teams that swap, but
most I'm finding are just ones that have been 2 or 3. I can't think
South
of anybody's
Carolina,
been 6.
Because when they come to the SEC, it was early 2000 or early 90s.
Early 90s when they came to the SEC.
That wouldn't have been them.
Yeah.
Clemson's been ACC as long as I can remember.
Miami was independent, Big East ACC.
I forgot about that.
I don't know.
Arkansas was.
No, I'll just put it this way: they've played recently.
TCU.
Oh,
6
yeah.
times.
So that makes more sense.
6 times.
They started off in the Texas Intercollegiate Athletic Association. Then they went to the Southwest Conference, where they started in 1920, went all the way to 1995 when the Southwest Conference dissolved. Then they were in the WAC, then Conference USA, then the Mountain West, now the Big 12.
Wow.
So they have.
And a lot of those are recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were only in Conference USA for 1 season before they bumped up to the Mountain West.
I remember. So now that you also got Boise swapped quite a bit too, right?
Well, they were WAC. Well, they were FCS.
Yep.
And they were in the Big Sky, I think it was. Then they went WAC and then Mountain West.
Mountain West.
But no one's done it as much as
6
TCU.
times.
Wow.
Six changes.
Sense,
yeah. All right, who wants to go on the first rant of the day?
You go ahead. You've missed the last 2 shows.
See, I thought the show was still at 7, and so I just happened to send out a message to like verifying that this was happening at 5:15. It's like, yeah. Kevin's like, yeah, it's 6 o'clock now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I better throw on some clothes and go. So I don't have a rant. My rant would be the Nick Saban. I mean,
voting his team second.
Wow. Here's a guy that most people in college football, whether you're a fan of Alabama or not, you think Nick Saban, his opinion matters. He's the best coach to ever live.
Right.
Disrespect to Bear Bryant intended. Nick Saban's the best coach to ever live.
Yeah.
And when you look at his opinion, you think, okay, what he says should matter. And then you see his coach's poll, and you heard him say, well, we should be in the playoff. And you thought, well, okay, man, of course you're going to say you should be in the playoff. What else are you going to say? He's not kidding. He was serious.
Yeah. Well, and I'm okay. Listen, I don't know. I still don't understand how he puts his team in second, but leaves Tennessee 6.
Exactly. That's the biggest buffoon.
If he would have had Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, I'd cut him a little slack.
Yeah, sure. Exactly right. So how? And if you follow me on Twitter, I said that. I was like, how do you do this? You left Tennessee at 6.
Right.
I mean, the team that beat you. It has the same record as you.
They won the Orange Bowl, y'all won the Sugar Bowl.
And you both won in dominant fashion over conference champions.
Yeah.
The only variable there is you lost to a team also that Tennessee smoked at home, and Tennessee lost to South Carolina, who played really well at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the ball.
And you beat
second half of the ball.
So if you want to flip a coin and say, okay, well that was a bad loss, but okay, Tennessee beat you. Okay. It's all even.
Right.
You put Alabama 2 and Tennessee 6. You know what that tells me? He's worried about Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if he says Tennessee should be number 3, well, guess what? That gives Tennessee some credence. And that all of a sudden says, okay, wait a minute. Tennessee's on the same level as Alabama, and that's bad for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Georgia's bad enough. LSU, if they, A&E, he was worried about all that.
Yeah.
I think. But Tennessee, I think he sees that as a real threat. Because Josh Heupel proved that his offense works with scrubs against Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need a Heisman candidate
and your 2 best receivers.
And your 2 best receivers to still put up points.
Right.
We can do it with whatever we got.
We did it last year.
Just didn't have a defense.
So I say we scored more points last year than any Tennessee team ever has.
I mean, you got to improve defense, and I think they will. But yes, that is my rant. That is the most. I want an Alabama fan to explain that to me in serious ways. Like, Besides, well, he felt his team was the second best team. Okay, then how does he put Tennessee at 6? Explain that. It's
all
unexplainable.
Ego. All ego.
All ego.
Yeah, all ego. Clint?
I don't really have a rant. My only rant is I've got carpal tunnel in my wrist.
I feel you, buddy.
From waiting on Kyle Johnson to quit reading out the achievements that Carly Weathers had last night at Loretta. Tuesday night. From clapping until he got through. And again, that's not a knock on Carly. I guess you could say, fortunate and unfortunate enough to get to watch her play her 4 years in such a rivalry with them in Summertown, and just the success she had and the team success they had. Yeah, if she's not there, I feel like my kids maybe have a little bit more to put in their trophy case. But what can you say? If you didn't get to watch her play in her high school years, you really missed out on getting to see something. And it makes me more proud of just how hard. AJ, you really didn't get to see it, and it's because
I wish I could.
You got to see it last year, and it was. I think all that was kind of a little payback from Summertown, giving it to them and making them have to go to Westview.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the 3 years before that, especially Carly's freshman, sophomore, junior year, they had an unfinished state tournament. They beat Summertown in the state championship, and I promise you, that year with Summertown and Loretta finishing 2-1 respectively, I'd put them against anybody in the state. I'd put those two teams against anybody in the state. And again, I know I started out as a knock that my wrist is hurting from clapping for Carly so long, but what a heck of an. It literally took Kyle Johnson 5 minutes to read out all those
I bet you did on air.
And so we've got, and it's funny you mentioned that because this Saturday, Loretta Baseball is doing at 3:30. They're having a banquet for all the guys that's ever been drafted in the major leagues at Loretta High School. It's a lot of players.
Yeah.
And they asked me to come down and MC it. And so David yesterday brings by the list of each guy's accomplishments. All of them but one is still living, by the way. And so I'm going through this. He's like, why'd you get to Rhines and Blades? Holy smokes, man.
On their achievements.
Oh, yeah. Career. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, you're going to be Kyle Johnson. Because from what he had, with Carly. And I'm like, golly, man. He says, not only are you going to do it at the banquet, we want you to go out on the basketball floor and introduce those guys and do the same thing. I'm like, you got to be crapping yourself if you think I'm going to read this.
Yeah.
This will take an hour. And so I felt bad for Kyle because I'm like, holy smokes, man. I lived this and didn't even realize it was that many. I was there every game and didn't realize this.
Trust me, I would have loved to have been here instead of freezing up in Pennsylvania for a year like I was. And my wife would 100% agree with that. We'd rather been here than under 5 feet of snow in PA every day. So, well, my rant, we've heard some of it on this program and other episodes, and we've heard it at halftime interviews. You hear it in the barbershop. Cam, you hear it at work. You see it online. Guys, we got an officiating problem in this state. And Cam, you made a comment the other night that we've been watching a lot of Alabama high school basketball as of late. And I watched a lot at the Shoals Christian Grind to Shine Classic, and I'll be honest, I was impressed with how they let the game go on and how they called a few ticky-tack things, but for the most part, just didn't have a whole lot to complain about. Now, and the more I've thought about it, when people ask me the question, what's the biggest issue with it? Who's at fault for all of this? And I always say, well, not everyone can be right, but certainly a lot of people can be wrong. And sometimes everybody can be wrong. So I've come up with maybe a few solutions when it comes to this. And first we'll start with players and coaches. Well, I will say this, our players and our coaches in this area, especially here in Lawrence County, I've found them to be very respectful of officials. I found the coaches to be very respectful of officials. Do they get upset from time to time? Absolutely. Is that normal? Yes. They're allowed to, but sometimes your emotions get the best of you. Sometimes it's, things happen, and I think if all around everyone is respectful, which most of the players and most of our coaches here are, I think that will take a step in the right direction. Next step I would go to would be the fans. I have a big problem with people yelling at high school kids umpiring their kids' Little League baseball games. You know, I just have a problem with it all around. They're not getting paid much. Most of them are volunteers. Most of them are doing it, you know, so they can go to the beach during the summer at some point to make some money, and they're getting yelled at like this is Game 7 of the World Series. It's not. I see it some at the middle school, which I can understand that to a point because they're getting older and they're getting better and the game is going faster and faster. And also at the high school level, you know, I can understand that to a point as well. But I think fans need to understand that this isn't Angel Hernandez behind the plate. It's not Ed Hockley calling your high school football games, or some of these guys in the NFL. It's not, you know, Joey Crawford in the NBA calling basketball, or John Higgins, you know, one of the most hated refs, just ask Kentucky fans, you know, calling your high school basketball games. These guys are working normal jobs like everybody else. They're going out, they're giving up of their time to be a part of this. So I think some slack needs to be cut a little bit. I do understand the frustration, and I do understand everything that goes into it, but I do think that we need to understand what they're going through as well. Now, finally, and probably my largest point, is going to go to the officials. You all know you can be better, and you all need to be better. That's how I'll start off with it. No more in human history, in the history of sports, do you guys have had a better opportunity to be better at what you're doing. For those officials in our area, you have us. Go back and watch the game. Put it on silent. Don't listen to any of us. Form your own opinion. Or if you want to put it on sound and debate us, go ahead. But go back and watch it. You have huddles that I know every coach here would let you look at the film. Go back and watch it. You have every opportunity to get better. Know the rule book through and through. Know every rules. Don't pull out some obscure rule. You know, don't call a bench technical in the middle of an overtime game when it's loud and a coach stands up to say something to his assistant coach's ear. For Christ's sake, why are you even looking at the bench to begin with? It's an overtime game. Look at what's going on. That's another thing I can go into. I've seen way too many bench warnings, bench technicals this year. You know, I had a very prominent official at the college level who also oversees some smaller division conferences tell me, if you're looking at the bench and not looking on the court, you're going to fail instantly. We got a lot of guys failing in this area. So there's that going on. And also my biggest thing is looking at some of y'all, get a gym membership and get on the treadmill. Goodness gracious.
AJ can say that. I can't.
I mean, some of you look in good shape. I'll give some of you guys credit. You look like you're in really good shape, but some of you need to learn what an elliptical is. It's easy on your knees. You still get the stride. You burn as much calories.
I would have went there.
I mean, it's worse than
just
football.
Remember, if we got him watching, he does most Lawrence County games, not Summertown.
And a lot of my frustration, guys, for those who don't know, my dad was a high school basketball official growing up. I've sat in those board meetings. I've gone to those games. I've been in those locker rooms. I can smell a guy who's just doing it to pay the bills a mile away from a guy who's doing it seriously. And I watch those games. I know who you are. I do. I can see you from a mile away. I've spent almost 2 decades in sports media. I can see it from a mile away. My charge to you guys is take your ego out, go back, watch the film, get better, because you know you can get better. We all know you can get better. And for God's sakes, get on a treadmill every now and again. Get in better shape. The game's getting faster. It's not getting slower. So, you know, if you're complaining about your knees hurting, it's probably because you got 100 extra pounds up there that you could probably shed. I know that sounds really mean, and I apologize, but even God knows it's true. So that's my charge when it comes to how can we make officiating better. Everyone can be involved. But the last point, that's who needs to be most involved.
I'll add to that. I think there is a problem. It's a big problem. But it starts also at the TWSAA paying these guys more money.
Absolutely.
Because you can go in training them. Because you can go to Alabama and make more money than you can in Tennessee.
Yeah. And they seem calmer. They seem more engaged with coaches and players.
They're getting paid. Yeah. And they're getting their mileage to the game pay.
There's more of a healthy discourse between the coaches, players, and officials. So, being in Alabama, last weekend really opened my eyes because
It's different.
it seems so much different. The game seemed faster. It's rougher. It had a better flow to it.
It does.
You know,
Well, whether it's rough or it's not, you know what you're getting.
It's consistent. Like you.
Exactly.
And I will say this: there have been a lot of games this year in Lawrence County that I've done. The officials did really good.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them that are local guys that are doing a great job. That I know that which is different than in years past.
Right.
These guys kind of, I guess, came out of retirement.
Yeah.
They didn't do it, but they're doing a lot of games. I think they're doing a fantastic job.
There's some that are, and then
but there's some that are really, really bad.
If you got a nickname for me, that's not good.
I haven't even given officials nicknames yet.
No.
Oh, I did one. There's one.
Yeah.
For years when I was a player.
If you got a nickname from me, then that means there's some improvement that needs to be made. But Cam's absolutely right. That was a point I forgot to make, that they do need to be paid better.
Yeah.
They do need to be trained better. And I just think the entire state of Tennessee, because I've never seen coaches this frustrated with officials at every level we go to, including the college level. I've never seen coaches this frustrated. And every coach I talk to in just about every state tells me the same exact thing.
And I'm with Cam. It's 100% on the TSSAA because they could make that a job where there's a waiting list.
Like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like you started in middle school and worked your way up.
You basically anymore don't really have to do any training. You just put in, got it, and you're a ref.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Let's try this. Let's put our name in for to be official and see how quickly we actually get an assignment.
Get a response.
I bet within 2 weeks we got games. I'm serious. I bet there's not even a test anymore. There might be. I may be way off base. I'm probably getting an email, text message like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm not going to go. I don't know that much on it.
Yeah, I don't know that
but
much about it either.
I'm going to say
And I don't want to ref.
I don't either. But I'm saying you would get a gig pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's how short they are.
That's a problem. They shouldn't, but like you said, they should.
I mean, I make more doing this
more.
than they did, and I don't make nothing.
Yeah.
I'm serious. By the time they
you're
drive
right.
to where they're going,
there's
not a lot left.
Yeah, and
we got to pay them.
They're doing middle school games and high school games, so they're not getting paid well, and they're overworked. So, like you guys said it, you hit the nail on the head, which is a point I was also going to make, but I got so into the physical fitness part of it that I totally lost it. So,
maybe if they did pay them more, they could get that gym membership.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing is, we're rooting for them. We want them to be good.
Absolutely.
These kids are working hard. These coaches are working hard. We want them to be good. That's why we praise you when you do good, and we hammer you when you don't. So
you go to a game and you watch a guy and they're looking in the stands.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're not even watching the play. You're looking.
Oh,
looking.
We have one that all three of our area schools get on a regular basis.
That
That will make a call and look and smile at you.
Yeah.
Now that's not good.
Not good.
That's not good.
Yeah.
He's looking he's walking up the court, looking in the stands.
It's not good. It's not good. Yep, we got a problem. Well, for Cam Mashburn, Clint Brazier, I'm AJ Good, and our producer extraordinaire, Kevin Wright. Have a great evening. We'll have a busy, packed house, packed games coming up tomorrow night on the xSports Network.
This is the xSports Network.